Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Shivakumar, and today I want to share my reflection on Mayak 68 using a lectico driven process. This experience helped me think deeply and about relationship, ethical, personal character, and how faith guide our decisions in both daily and professional life environments. The verse says, "He has shown you, O moral, immortal, what is good, and what does the Lord required of you." The act justly and love mercy and to walk humbly with your God Bible. When I first read the verse, the word that immediately stood out of me was justly. I think this word stood out because fairness and integrity are extremely important in leadership and relationships. In today's world, people are often placed in situations where they must make difficult situations, whether at work, school, or in personal life. Acting justly means doing what is right even when it is difficult or when no one is watching. It means treating people fairly, being honest, and making ethical decisions instead of self ones. As I reflected as more on this word, I realized that justice is not only about large discussions made by leaders or governments. It can also be seen as everyday actions such as respecting others, listening carefully, giving credit fairly, or supporting someone who may be struggling. Sometimes small actions reflect our character more than big actions do. When I read verse a second time, the past experience from one of my team projects came to mind. During the project, there were misunderstandings about responsibilities and deadlines. Some team members felt overwhelmed, while others believed that work distribution was unfair. Tension started building with this group, and communication became difficult. I remember one team member handled the situation in that way that really impacted on me. Instead of blaming people or becoming angry, he looked at the understand everyone's perspective. He listened patiently, encouraging open communication, and try to create fairness in how tasks were assigned. He also showed compassion toward team members who were struggling personally. Looking back now, I can clearly see how his actions reflected the principle in mentioned is a Mecca 6:8. He acted justly by trying to be fair. He loved mercy by showing understanding and patience, and he walked humbly by not only letting pride or authority control his behavior. The experience taught me that leadership is not only about achieving goals or managing tasks. True leadership is also about character, empathy, and integrity. A leader's attitude can influence the entire environment around them. When leaders are humble and compassionate, teams often become stronger and more cooperative. Another word that stood out of me during reflections as messy. Sometimes people make mistakes, and in personal settings, it can be easy to focus only on performance or results. However, Love Mercy reminds us to treat people with compassion and understanding. Everyone faces challenges that others may not fully see. Showing mercy does not mean ignoring accountability, but it means responding with kindness and wisdom rather than judgment alone. I think mercy is especially important in workplaces and organizations today because stress and pressure can affect people differently. Leaders who demonstrate empathy can build a trust and strong relationship with teams. Employees are more motivated and confident when they feel respect and values rather than constantly criticized. The final phrase, walk humbly with your God, also challenged me personally. Humility is not only easy because people naturally was recognition, control, and validation. However, humility reminds us relationship about serving others, not elevating ourselves above with them. And a humble is willing to listen, learn, accept feedbacks, and admit mistakes. One action steps this reflect bring to mind for me is become more intentional in love, intentional in how I communicate with others. I want to practice listening more carefully instead of reacting quickly. Sometimes, even in stressful situations, it is easy to become impatient or defensive. This verse reminds me to approach situations with calmness, fairness, and respect. Another action step is applying ethical principles consistently, even in small situations. For example, being honest in teamwork, treating everyone respectfully, completing responsibility with integrity, and helping others when possible. I believe ethical leadership is begins with daily habits and choices. The reflection also made me to think about professional leadership in business in technology fields. In many industries today, leaders face ethical challenges involving power, competition, deadlines, and pressure for results. Without strong values, it becomes easy to prioritize success over integrity. Mayak 6.8 provides a valuable framework because it reminds leadership to balance justice, mercy, and humility in their decisions. I also believe the scriptures connect strongly with the idea of several leadership. A servant a leader focuses on helping others grow and success rather than only pursuing personal gain. Leaders who act with humility and compassion can positively influence not only organizations but also communities and relationships. Overall, practicing Lectico Divana with Mayak 6.8 was meaningful experience for me. It encourages me to reflect on personal values, leadership style, and interaction with others. The verse remind us to faith not only about the abilities of words but actions and characters. Acting justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with our principles that can guide us and become a better leaders, co-workers, friends, and individuals. Thank you for listening to me.